Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. If you've not already seen, check out the mail call from today, which will be the video before this one. Amazing, unbelievable mail call, and in fact probably one of the best mail calls I've had since I started this journey over 2 years ago. And I'm going to be using pretty much exclusively products from that mail call and finishing off with another Canadian product which I absolutely love and use pretty much every single shave. So I'm going to start off with the shaving soap today, which is Like Grandpa Shave Products 2015 shave soap, and it's lime scent. Now I've just looked on the back here. We've got coconut oil, water, potassium hydroxide, avocado oil and fragrance. Now that doesn't sound like the sort of thing that will build up a big lather. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not a lot in there other than the stearic acid which builds the lather, but we'll see how we go. Lime scent smells absolutely superb, it really does. But actually, sorry, I should have started with this. I'm going to start off with a little bit of this. I don't normally use a pre-shave oil, but since as it comes with this sort of company's stuff, I'm going to use a little bit. So rub a few drops in your face and whiskers, lather up and shave as usual. So let's get this open. Scent on that is beautiful, smells pretty much identical to the shaving soap. And it's a fair old size bottle, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a dripper. Some sort of 4 drips. I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to wet my face before I do that. It doesn't actually say that, I don't think. Right, so there we go. Now, one thing it might affect the lather is that it is very hydrophobic. So the water, it doesn't absorb water, so I'm wondering how this is going to actually affect the lather, but we shall soon see. This is a huge sort of risk I'm doing today with these products. I'm using a shaving soap and oil with a razor with a massive blade gap. So let's have a look at the brush. So the brush I've actually got soaking in the glass that I received in the mail call. I'll probably not use this glass for this, but I might, I don't know, I like the glass, it's lovely size for putting all my brushes in, but it's soaking in here. And what I've got in here, now this brush, glass, soap, the razor for today, the oil, is all a gift. It's basically a thank you from Chris over at Karve for, I suppose, the time and effort I put in for him that I didn't have to. I spent a lot of time actually helping people out and checking up on orders and trying to assist him with the running of his business from the other side of the world, and did the best I could for him. So this is just a huge thank you from him, and what he did was he sent me a brush as well. So this is hand turned, I believe it's maple. It's absolutely beautiful. 20mm knot, I think it's a 2-band, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to double check on that. And as you can see down here, we've got an aluminium, this is aluminium, this coin on the bottom here that's been stuck on, and it's got Karve Canada on there. Absolutely lovely, just a stunning little brush. The funk's a little bit better. Jesus, it stunk to begin with. So I ran Derby shaving soap through it a few times before this shave. So I'm just going to redip this in the water again, just flick out most of the excess, and then straight onto this soap. Now the texture of the soap is reasonably firm. It's not a hard soap, but it's certainly by no means a cream or a crope. It's definitely on the firmer side. The scent strength out the tub is around about 2, so there's not a lot of scent strength coming out of the tub. I'm hoping once I get a little bit of water into it, load the brush up, that it's going to open up in the scent just a little bit more. Very, very minimalistic approach to the soap. There's not a whole heap of ingredients in here. In fact, the only soap that I've used really, which has a similar amount of ingredients, would probably be Martin de Candre. So, just to give you an idea on how many ingredients are actually in this soap. So I'm just lightly dipping the tips of the brush and loading up, and then when it looks like it's sucked up as much as it can, I'm just re-dipping it again. Now, there's a little bit of scritch and scratch to this knot. I noticed when I was hand lathering it, so let's just see what it feels like on a face lather. but I've never used a 20mm knot before, so this will be interesting just to see what sort of lather I get from it, given the size of the knot. Probably one more dip. I'm really going to overload this because I want to make sure that I get enough on my face, as I'm going to be using a very aggressive setting on this razor. I can always come back to the soap, I suppose. Yeah, it's scent strength's upped a little bit. It's probably went from like a 2 to maybe a 3.5, 3.5, something like that. Very, very lightly scented soap. Now that's not a bad thing. I do suffer from sensitive skin, so the less scent strength really the better, but I do love strong scented soaps, so it sort of takes away from that. But let's just see how this looks. Now the load itself looks pretty damn good. I can actually smell a bit of the brush through it, so look, the scent's not going to be the focal point on this shave, to be honest with you anyway, so. With the face. And let's see how this lathers up. Now I'm going to have to take into account that I have used a pre-shave oil, which I don't normally do, so it could affect the lather quite drastically. I have no idea. Why make a pre-shave oil if it affects the lather? I don't know, but we shall see whether it actually affects it or not. So I'll just paint this on. I'm going to use my normal process. It's just got the right amount of weight, this brush, because it's so thin and it's got a small knot. I think if it was a heavy handle, it would make the knot feel wrong. No, I can definitely smell the lime, so that's a good start. Right, let's start painting some water in. Right, let's just splay this out now. See what it feels like. Surprisingly, it feels alright. It's a very, very light scratch, and I mean light to the point that it's almost not noticeable. And I feel with a little bit of time on this knot, it'll certainly help, hopefully, soften it up a little bit. Certainly so far, so good. Now, I was actually looking, believe it or not, at Spiffleman to get a maple brush. I wanted a maple brush as my first Canadian brush, and here it is. I didn't know it was coming. Absolutely, I was blown away today with that nail call. Now, as you can see, the flow through on the sides here is working really well for such a small knot. The lather is far superior to what I thought it was going to be. So there you go. Never heard of these products before. What's it called again? Like Grandpa. Brilliant. It's obviously like Grandpa in terms of old school shaving. So there you can see the knot is highly loaded. Now, here is my Karve, my old Karve. So this is the C plate that's on here. This is the exact same razor that I've had from the very beginning from Karve. This is the Karve that Chris sent me today. Now this one has got, what's it called again? That's terrible, my memory's so bad. Is it Dua? I can't remember. But it's got a different knurling on the handle. You can see there the two different styles of knurling. This is a 3.5 inch handle, and I've got, let's see if I can show you here. just down the bottom here, the F plate on this razor today. Longer handle, it's actually quite nice. It's got a lovely weight to it. The balance point on this one sits right about there, bang on there. So you can see pretty much the balance point is still very central to the whole razor, which I like. Now these are 5-piece razors essentially. You've got a top cap, you've got your blaze cap, you've got your little top part here of the handle, you've then got your handle shaft, and then you've got your little button down here. Now this is all compressed together. The handle's 3 pieces compressed together. It looks like one solid piece, it feels like one solid piece, but just so precisionally engineered that it fits perfectly. Now the machining is absolutely beautiful once again, and the blade gap on this one is 1.23 millimeters. Now if you look at the actual blade exposure on there, it is absolutely spot on. So here we go with the F plate, 3 days of growth. The soap has surprised me. Here we go. Oh, and I've got the Gillette spoiler in here, full use.
Don't worry, Norman, I plan to get it rusty.
Still very smooth, but it's close. I can feel the blade. The blade's there. It is there. It feels like an R41. There is absolutely no hiding from this blade gap. Very efficient, bordering on aggressive razor now. Definitely one I can't wait to take for a test run on a head shave. So I'm just gonna try and be a little bit more strategic here. As this is a lot more aggressive. So really light touch required. You don't need a lot of pressure with this razor, I can assure you. The weight of the razor does most of the work. And as you can see, I've pretty much knocked all that on the head with no nicks, cuts or weakness for first use with such an aggressive plate. And let's see what the residual slickness is like. It's pretty damn good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, I will say one thing. I think it would be better without the oil, the residual slickness, but it's still pretty good.
We will make the New York Giants our friend.
Excellent shaving soap. It's lathering up really nice. And here we go, pass number 2, Argyle. It's the Argyle pattern. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, being a Scottish word, Scottish name. So it's the Argyle pattern, so it's a different sort of cross-hatch weave on there. And I've got, like I say, the F plate on here with 1.23 blade gap. Never heard that bit before. Now I have to say, for me personally, this isn't as smooth as the C plate. It's still very smooth, but it's not as smooth because you're getting that blade feel boom right on your skin. There's no hiding from the blade. The angle still feels very, very similar. Really impressed. Loads of residual slickness to sort of buff a little bit. Oh, that's a really close shave. Pass number 3 is really going to tidy this right up. I don't feel at this stage like I'm getting any irritation or razor burn. So we shall see how the shave finishes. And this little knot, yeah, still smell that funk, but the lime is just strong enough just to cover it over. Just going to dip the tips and see what happens. I think the reason the scritch in this brush isn't affecting me so much is because it's not a super densely packed knot, but it does have quite nice face feel. And as you can see, 3 excellent quality lathers from one load. Now it was a heavy load, but I load all my brushes heavy no matter whether it's a big knot or a little knot. They all got the same sort of big load in them. Right, so here we go, pass number 3 with this F plate, C plate, the F plate. a really slick silk. It really is, very protective. Quite surprised. Wasn't expecting that quality of silk. There's just so many amazing little unknown artisans. Well, not unknown, but little known. Doing an amazing job. So here we go, a little bit of against the grain round the loops. This will be a telling point as to whether I'm going to get any weepers or any issues.
You see, Maria, Mr. Alex was proving his friend. He's clearly a tender, loving queen. How can you have the human baby from Mr. Alex? Look at him. He's so cute. Attractive. I don't think he was bullied and look more like he was tension over me. Suit yourself, no matter. I don't care. Soon we will put my excellent plans to action. Only the truth.
Wow. Now, given the sheer aggression of this razor, I don't think it's something I could use every day. I tell you what, I wouldn't be far off being able to use that every day. I think the E and F plates I certainly will be able to use. D and E plates I think I will be able to use on a daily basis. I'm really looking forward to using the milder B plate as well. Let's just brush it. Let me have a look at what knots in this brush as well. I'll try and update the video or update the description on the video. As you can see, that's a spot on shave, I tell you. That's really close with no nicks, cuts, sweepers, nothing. Anyway, now we're not talking about a C plate here, we're not talking about the D or E plate, we're talking about a 1.23mm blade gap F plate. So, not for the faint-hearted. When you listen to the numbers, that's a hell of a blade gap. A hell of a blade gap to sort of try and tame. But the way Chris has designed this razor just allows ease of use, smoothness, comfortable. And to be honest, it quite clearly gives a level of security as well. There's no way. Now, I've shaved with the R41, I think I've been through a few shaves with the R41 without getting any nicks, cuts, bumps, weepers, nothing like that. For a first time shave with a new razor, and I know I use the razor in the C plate. Now, that's got to be the closest shave I've ever had, I think. That's amazing. That's amazingly close. The post-shave feel is beautiful. But as you can see, in terms of redness and things like that, I mean, it looks always looks a little bit redder on the camera. I'm looking in the mirror now, and I'm not seeing a lot of redness on my neck. I'm not seeing really any redness on my neck that's unusual. It looks the same. But what I am getting, it's a super, super close, smooth shave. Very, very close to BBS. Wow. I am super, super impressed. So what we have here is the Karve razor. Now this one, oh, come on, focus. Why is it struggling? This one has got the 0.85 blade gap. Now hopefully I can get this to come in here. This one here, it's got a 1.23 blade gap, and it's massive. The blade gap is huge. It really is enormous compared to that one. So, but wow. Okay, I'm going to finish off now with some Maol grooming Franken lime, obviously to go with the lime. How could I resist? So 1, 2, 3 splashes of this. Oh, that scent. And not only does this have a phenomenal scent, it gives you an initial burn, but there was hardly any today, which suggests I've had a great shave. And then the menthol kicks in, and that menthol gets really cold. It gets to the point, in my opinion, it affects your eyes, but it gets to the point where it's just borderline, it's on the edge of being too much, but it's not. It's just absolutely spot on. Now, Sean Millen over at Maol Grooming has been looking at producing his aftershaves without menthol and replacing it with, I think it's an artificial form of menthol which has no discernible scent, but still has the coldness of the menthol. Now, personally, I like the scent of menthol. I like the sensation of it in your eyes. If you don't like it, don't get menthol. If you want the cooling sensation, menthol has been used for ages to provide that cooling sensation and that effect. So if you don't want it, don't add menthol. My personal opinion is don't add anything that's not natural to something that's 100% natural at this stage. I would stick with the menthol. I think it does mask the scents a little bit. You do get that menthol scent. It does obviously affect your eyes and things like that. The other ones don't. It's a synthetic sort of feeling of coldness. Oh yes, what a shave. So the soap for today was Like Grandpa Lime from Edmonton, Canada, I believe it is. Just let me double check. We have got, Edmonton, Canada. We've got stearic acid, coconut oil, water, potassium hydroxide, avocado oil and fragrance. That's it. And I have to say, it's a really, really nice soap. The lime scent is very, very light, but it provided a great cushion, a great slickness, and a really nice, easy to make lather from a relatively heavy load and a small knob. The brush today, I really like this brush. I think it's beautiful. So we've got on the bottom here, we've got the Karve coin where it says on there, what is it? Karve Canada. So this is aluminium, and then we've got this beautiful wood handle, hand turned, and finished off in a really high gloss varnish. There's no rough bits, bumps or striations or anything on it. It's just a perfect finish on here. And we've got a little 20mm badger knot, which is actually quite a nice little knot. I thought it would be too scritchy, but it's not. It's really nice. It's not a dense knot, and like I say, it's got a few tips in there that are a little bit thicker, so hopefully I'll be able to break them down with use. So I might use this exclusively for a little while just to break in a bit and see how it goes, but I really like it. It's really nice. It stinks though, freaking stinks. The razor for today, the Karve with the 3.5 inch Argyle handle, which is a different form of knurling on the handle as what's pretty much sold at the moment on the website, so I'm sort of chuffed to bits to have something like this. I'm really, really chuffed with this one. And then we've got the F plate on here, on the bottom, and as you can see, this massive blade gap. It's huge, just a huge blade gap. Stunning razor. The handle length, I do prefer the 3 inch, I have to say, but that's not uncomfortable for me. It's just about as long as I could actually take it before it would annoy me if it was any longer. I think personally, this length handle suits the size of the head more. I think if you want aesthetic wise, I think that looks nicer like that than the sort of chunky head with the smaller handle as it is with this one. So I think that one looks a bit better, just suits the size of the head more. But yeah, I'm absolutely blown away by that shave, I really am. Finished off, oh sorry, I forgot to mention, I started off with some of this stuff here, Grandpa's pre-shave oil, and it didn't seem to affect the lather at all. If anything, it might have helped the shave, I'm not sure. I didn't get any nicks, cuts, bumps or weepers, so it might have assisted in that sort of regard. And then I finished off today with, pretty much in my opinion, the best aftershave splash on the market that I've used. Maol Grooming Frankenline frosted version, which is menthol, and wow, just wow, how good was that shave. Easily the closest shave I've had without going against the grain really anyway. This across the grain has taken me in so close, and I've got no irritation that I can feel. I'm blown away, absolutely blown away. So with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend when you get there. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys for another exciting shave tomorrow. Cheers.